Welcome back. This is Northstar with another episode of my Gotterdammerung Hearts of Iron 4 Let's Play. I am, of course, playing as the anti-Fascist Germans. I started the German Civil War somewhat later than most players would. I took the time to run the military spirits. I thought that was because the MIFO bills would work the way the description says, and well, the description of the decisions, rather, which is reliance to be removed and payment is delayed until after the war's conclusion. Until war breaks, at which point reliance, but it doesn't work that way anymore. That tooltip is clearly outdated, and the devs have not fixed it yet. So, I could have just started the German Civil War earlier. Although, I did manage to, some of the focuses weren't a waste. Set things up for getting access to some of these that require you being at war in the Army tree. The Airforce tree doesn't have much similar, although it does have this, War with a Major. So, Reorganize Fafa, Defense of the Empire. So I guess there is that, although it's not super useful, except to get these done, and now have the techs. Controls non-German state law on the Atlantic coast. So I don't control anything on the Atlantic coast. I don't have radar without... Oh, one of the following. So I don't even need that branch. It's not that useful. But for the Navy, you can't take this unless you're at war. So it's useful for the Navy branch, useful for the Army branch. I didn't go very deep in the Air Force branch, just mainly the Aeronautical Research Institute and the dive bombers, which maybe I shouldn't have done when I did. That one was probably a mistake, but the rest of it was okay. I'm putting off repaying the MIFO bills to avoid the nasty spirits and get this war going earlier. Otherwise, I would have spent a number of focuses just reducing the malice from repaying the MIFO bills to something manageable before I'd want to start the war. So there's that. Now, I remember, I know some of you saw before, I was working on this focus, but I decided to switch over to this because I want that Army experience and land doctrine discount, so I can quickly get my doctrines in order. I was wrong to not take focuses like this to give generals, because almost everyone stays loyal to you. Hitler only gets a few of his like absolute suck-ups, like Dietrich, who was originally his car driver. He has only 5 generals, and I'm not even sure they were ones that I had access to before. I'm pretty sure they would have been locked by fascist early focuses. I noticed because I quickly tied over them earlier just to see what it divided up. It didn't give him any of my research bonuses, any of my saved up XP or political power, and almost none of my generals, just those 5, and none of my admirals, because I agreed to placate the Kriegsmarine. I have to take some Navy focuses later, or they revolt, but it kept them loyal in the Civil War, so that's new, that event. I could have taken this. It was torn between Lessons of the Great War and Rally of the Nation, but this would reduce fascist support, and I want to be able to start one more series of anti-fascist raids, which by the time this is over, I'll have just a little bit. I think it's like 14%, and you can't do raids when support for a group is above 10, is below 10. So I'm going to start a second set of anti-fascist raids, and then I can do Rally of the Nation. this is useful anyways, as I said, for the doctrines, which I only unlocked this far before Civil War and saved up XP after that, because I want that command power that gives me the ability to promote generals to field marshals, assign traits, assign advisor roles, and recruit new generals, which I'd recruit one, and he was a brilliant strategist because of this. I'm sorry. Doctors put me on various meds to try and stop that cough. It's not working. They need to try a new approach. I'm also trying to get the most out of this guy before I eventually switch him, probably for a day. I'm not going to be doing this guy because air doctrine costs benefits paratrooper tree. This only benefits the close battlefield support doctrine tree. So this is actually better if I'm investing in paratroopers, which I probably will be doing before this war is over, and getting the ground attack, but also paratrooper tree provides, if I remember, a few other bonuses. And the Germans can actually get all 3 special forces trees with their new focuses. I think they're the only nation that can. Yeah, all special forces get a soft attack bonus, which will benefit mountaineers, which I'll have some of. Airborne armor, recovery rate for paratroopers, special forces supply grade. So some of these just benefit special forces more broadly, even if I don't actually drop any units. And so I'm likely to end up having that. Just for, if nothing else, the some of the things that just broadly benefit them. Special forces attack is said because yeah, probably go down this branch because I never heavily relied on paratroopers. They're cheese mostly. The AI has no idea how to deal with them. But some of this benefits other branches, and I will want the ground attack factor of the day. So it's about saving air XP in the long run. Similarly, when I do Navy, I'll just be doing this guy, not Saltwalker, because I will be investing in the Marine tree as well. But it's so important to have your Army Doctrine fully. This, and when I eventually switch back, I'll probably just switch to a, can't take him because I do a Panzer. Where's, I don't think I have a ground warfare specialist, do I? Mobile warfare. Alright, well, I guess Rangers and the Mountaineer tree is just going to have to cost me at standard rates, whether I like it or not. But I also did go off camera, and I'm probably boring you all with this, reduce the amount of forts I'm going to build. These are to synergize with doing the west wall. That is, I wouldn't even bother, except to get a free fort level from that. And so getting level 3 forts, if I only invest in level 2, is probably worth it. You'll see just the weaker defensive terrain, forests and plains, get 2 here, and that'll become 3. The hills will only 1 level, which will become 2, 1 level along here. They have the river for defense, and there are hills, which are better defensive terrain. And I might even bother with this section. I just want to make the part that doesn't involve river crossing a little better defended. Because you'll see I have those decisions, as well as the temporary spirit to construct forts cheaper. So there's this, and I'll eventually run that. But I'm trying to get use of this, and I did take the focus that gave this, so I could tech the first fortification focus cheaper, because I'll eventually want to do a stronghold network. And many other things do at the time. I might have done excavation ones sooner, so it might have been a little suboptimal. There's ways I could do better. And last but not least, in terms of some things I checked, yeah, I could run war economy. I did take Dernitz instead of going right into that. That was probably not perfect. But I will be doing war economy next. And for what it's worth, with such low stability in running war economy, there's a pretty decent chance of negative events. The more mobilized your economy is and the more conscription you have, the higher chance of those events, and you can get them if either your war support or stability is below 50%. And there's a second, if I think you're below 35%, the chance is even higher for either. So I may have saved myself those events by doing this, but honestly, I just didn't realize I'd be able to take war economy from the Civil War. I wasn't sure if I'd be considered the attacker or the defender. I didn't know about that. I'm using the cheaper, worse planes to train, and then I'm going to be switching to better planes once they're fully trained up. Partly, I don't want to be wasting fighters on combat when they're green. I want them to be regular. I'm kind of short on fuel. It's tough because I have no civilian factories. They're all either being traded for rubber or they're going to Italy to buy guns, which, yeah, 2 signed civilian factories. I'm probably not going to be doing those just because I won't get that soon enough. And if it's a Silesian revolt, I can only assume that they attack the Nazis. I will lose stability and political power, unfortunately. But I am dragging this war out to let the Nazis run an industrial focus or two. Close some of this. It's just annoying in my way. I'll eventually want to run war bonds, but I don't have the support, and I need to be over 85% war support for that. Which, yeah, that's not going to be for a bit. Morality of the nation can only get me to 74. I'll need something like the events where people try and draft dodge, and if you invest political power, there's a chance of increasing your war support. It's expensive, but I can't run this. And I think, not sure if at some point I probably could have run it before the war. And after the war, I could run it too, or an offensive war, so I'm not locked out of that for sure. Because Germans actually start with very low base war support, only 30%, which is terrible. That's part of how it was reworked. So yeah, there's the MIFO bills. I'm keeping an eye on those. And oh yeah, put up. I'm at a max of 29 divisions in training. These are smaller, more defensive. I've also created a template. When the Italian weapons of mine are just basic. They're not for use in combat. They're so I can start training infantry brigades after these guys are deployed with just basic equipment and save the higher quality infantry one for the actual frontline troops. When they're deployed, I'll switch them to this template. It's identical except for what equipment's allowed. And I'll keep training them towards regular while they swap into the better guns. It's a very minor optimization, but I made some mistakes and I'm on my back foot a little bit. So, without further ado, I said I would do a little off-camera micro, and I did just a tiny bit of changing how divisions are assigned. There's a few weird things whenever you reload a save. So like I saved, this is obviously not continuous with the previous videos days ago. Like where was it? Oh yeah, here. So this guy is still returning from being a volunteer, so he shouldn't actually be able to lead this battle. It should be this guy. who I'm fine with gaining experience. He needs it. He's in charge of my rangers, and he later gets, via focus, scavenger for free. But I'd like him to get infantry leader before I take that focus if possible, because every one of those earned traits, or traits that's assigned based on earned traits, right? Normally scavenger requires engineer. I'm pretty sure it slows gain of experience, so he'd gain infantry leader. He already has 25 experience. He'd gain it more slowly if he had more traits than just ranger. After updates, so after like a day, you should swap them in. This should update. I should just be short on tungsten and a tiny bit chromium. The steel should update, but it does weird things every time you reload a save. The devs still have not fixed that bug. Got divisions that'll be returning, and I'm just gonna, as I go and run this, gonna be a little quieter because I have trouble multitasking with my long COVID, which means it's harder to talk, hear the music, and all this all at the same time. I haven't yet mastered adding music into videos after the fact and just playing on silent, not to mention I sometimes like to hear music while I play. So here we go. Now, these guys are shifting all in the front, which means they'll enter here, they'll fight till this is over, then they'll move here immediately after. Some preference of moving these guys who have entrenchment bonuses. They lose it if they start marching. I may get pushed back here. In fact, it's reasonably likely. I guess that's okay. There's no real value to this province. Defensively, there's no river protecting it. The important area is to hold Ulm here, obviously. Although if I'm holding here and I lose this one as well, I guess the city, which is actually better defensive terrain than a forest. I'd like to hold here. I'm trying to build a fort here next. If I fail, I suppose I'll have to queue up the fort somewhere else. Oh yeah, I have to put infrastructure in here because that will benefit, make both the forts cheaper, and factories will be building right after the forts. Which the only reason I'm doing the forts first is because I doubt we can get them done before this expires otherwise. I have very few factories free. Let's see, there was one battle that was about to be lost. Oh, here. They'll fall back to the hills, and hills are better defensive terrain, so it works out. Most of these divisions don't cross over. This one does, but the hill bonus, you can see, attack 75, attack 85. Hills are just better defensive terrain. Though air support works a bit better on them. They have air support, I don't. I'm gonna mute when I do that. Hopefully that muted the microphone. Not the talking. Soon I'll be deploying a bunch of divisions, green, but having the divisions is more important than having them reach trained. Should have trained more divisions on day one, and definitely more divisions even before the Civil War that would have given the Nazis more, because this is just not enough to hold the front. And don't push anywhere. Well, now they're trying to attack. Are they trying to attack? Well, the weird thing about reloads is they don't suffer the multiple combat penalties. Still, they should be going there. I thought I changed that before. Probably the AI reassigned them or something. Well, these guys have just got you know, they can stay put. Actually. This battle isn't going great. They're not assigned anywhere. I'm worried they'll take this, but I'm going to keep the 2nd Infantry in place because this fight's still going on. When these guys leave, there will be no one to command this fight, but these guys will arrive a little later. It still has Witzelben, even though he shouldn't be available. I'm not receiving bonuses from him, but it is showing as if he was present. He is the one making the plans. He gets greater skill at that counterattack. Oh, whatever. I should be able to hold the city. I'd like to get this over quickly. Alright, these guys have to fall back here because this is not going great. It's because the divisions were completely deorged, and so the enemies just kept pushing on them. If they can hold out a little while. Got reinforcements on the way. This is the key focal point of the battle. Vague on the screen literally means focal point warfare. Might do something weird with making these guys retreat even though they're in their reserves already. We'll see. Game does weird things when you pull in reinforcements to a battle sometimes. And I've won at Augsburg. That's that battle I won. That's the one where I made a pointless attack for a little while and lost a lot of men for no reason. With the 2nd Infantry. Yep, now the tungsten chromium. And Mexico's buying some I think they bought up all my remaining guns. Yes, they did. So it's not just a little support equipment. In fact, I'm going to pull this based on the shortage I have. Some artillery, which the AI doesn't really like buying this early on. Some convoys, trucks, trains. I'm not going to pull this because I'm probably going to start train manufacturing line soon. Hope they don't do too many logistic strikes. Here we go. 61st Infantry have entered the fray. Should update to show me winning. Yep. I won't be able to take that. Here, these guys just need to hold off long enough for me to circle behind and then attack them after they're cut off. That's the nature of maneuver warfare, is you make your line weak in some areas to attack in others. In fact, any decent battle doctrine requires you do that. You don't just try and defend everywhere, or you lose everywhere. Well, you don't lose everywhere, but you lose in some places where the enemy concentrates their forces, and you just get pushed. He's counterattacking. He has you'd say this. You can see skill advantage over 0. Defensive tactic is in phase. Default. There's all that, but he's more likely to roll it because of this. If it was a different leader, I could pause and switch it out and show you if I really want. This way we go down. This does help even though he's just a general. The question is if I really should be using Kesselring to defend at all. Manstein would probably be better, but he can eventually get give an offensive doctrine. Or defensive for higher elastic defense chance, which I'll get fairly soon. With 2 discounts that bring this down to just 60 each. And 15 from the next focus, I'll already be at 90 of the 120 I need. Oops. I'm doing this because it does, if I'm not mistaken, give me a little more oil from, where's my oil fields? Here in Hanover, which are, the infrastructure is damaged, but every bit of oil helps. It'll be used for my motorized divisions when I get some of those out soonish. Can't add more divisions to training just yet. Help up the tanks, which I'm prioritizing because I have some tanks, and I want to get those all the way up to regular for my real pushes. The motorized will fill in behind them. This is basically not terribly dissimilar from Blitzkrieg, but with a greater emphasis on infantry and planning. I'm doing it's still motorized, filling in tanks attacking, all that. I really like that song anyways. I don't need them moving. Oh, that's the defenders. And these two, they need to stay in place. I can't spare any divisions from here. I'm trying to fill in behind, even if I'm making push and all. Once they win this fight, they'll probably reinforce here. I just, somewhat tough situation. Just trying to hold the line long enough for my attack to... Yeah, these guys... It doesn't give them the bonus from withdrawing yet. There we go. I can't queue the same. I have to wait an hour. Or once they get there. I think I'm retreating there. I'm just moving them along the line. Who's leading them now? Yeah, whatever. I forgot those guys were not under the control of the Ranger, but I guess he's still gaining experience from this, maybe. Let's see. 653, we'll see if that goes up in the next 3 days. Yep. These guys have DOR'd down, and they'll have to They took brutal losses, even on the defense. Which makes little sense. Their defense should have succeeded any attack, but Maybe it was enemy bombers. I don't know. Let's see when the fight's over. It'll tell me what I lost to the ground versus air forces. I'm not be able to keep my fighters training too much longer. I need to control the skies. I do not like the Royal Air Force song very much. I almost removed it from the list. It's one of those songs I gotta be in the mood for. It's not my favorite. Well, I guess even though I have more attack than them, and I could focus on the Landstorm and do crits. Although I can do way more crits than focusing on anything at all. They just have so many divisions attacking. I'm gonna have to pull in these guys, I think. No, that'll leave a gap on my line. If they push in here, I'll just have to attack. When they're at 20%, they can deploy, even though they're still green. If I turn the music down slightly. There we go, I can hear myself think. Or speak to you guys. Alright. This fight's a little tough in that they're outnumbered massively. These are much wider. 4-to-1 if you look at the width. And these guys have support, so it's actually worse than that. These don't have any support. Battalion support companies attached. And their support, yeah, they're gonna get pushed back to castle soon. Cassel. The victory points you want to control because they provide local supply, and you don't want the enemy having that, although they should be hopefully stretching on the supply lines. This is a place that has some defense value because of the river, but I just can't hold it. Seems. Maybe if I have these guys start their way here. This fight will last 8 more days. If the 44th start their way there, they have more work left. Got to hold the line until reinforcements arrive. That is the divisions in training. Should be about 12 more days. Have to make it to about November 21st without losing too much ground. I left that completely undefended. Yeah, sign on metal later, or when I switch to communist. Well, no, I would have had to have like relief of command or something for it to switch into that. And you can't get that except democratic, anyways. United States serves the military. We're switching that. These guys are much closer to working. mud and hills. It's heavy advantage on my side. Actually, I can pull some of these divisions over there real. Alright, I'm not even sure why it... Oh. Kept some of the armies that, List is almost back. He's got a little experience fighting. 3-2-2, 3 skill. He's inferior in pretty much every way. I don't need a huge screen down here anyways. I don't know where to assign them, but they're needed here. Veteran divisions. They don't stand a chance. Strategically redeploy to get through that mud just by riding the train. Trains obviously don't have to deal with the mud. Then once they've gained a little org, they'll march in there. These guys need to go to west critical part of the line. Here, so this is still important. Why do I have this under? Why is it not moving them? Where do they think they're retreating from? I'll give it an hour and it'll fix itself. They're going to be assigned to his command anyways. The reason I did that is these guys really should be assigned to Castle Ring. In fact, this whole stem of the line should. I'm not sure why I assigned it to. Him, probably because they're marching out of force to get here. I'm going to switch commands regardless. Castle Ring's got more skill. He's the man for the job. None of them are moving, so it's not like this does anything. Increases chance of rolling good tactics because he's better than Steiner. And yes, you're not retreating from anything, buddy. There we go. I'm gonna get to Cassel and dig in because these guys are probably gonna retreat there. They don't like retreating to areas they're already in combat because that's how you get overrun. And if the reinforcements here stop them from losing, then they can actually just go here once they got some organization. What are they doing? No. AI can be truly indiscernible at times. Anyhow. The reason I don't want to sign from this is I'd like to have Witzelbaum available. If I switch what he does, he's a good leader. They're not going to attack here again. Also, yeah, he gained experience in that fight even though he was technically not present for some reason, returning from Spain or something. Or Mexico. Okay. Well, if I can drive these guys back, then I should have clear license to march into Munich and take that airfield. I'll probably redirect one of these divisions when these guys start retreating to just go right for the airfield. It's important. They might be launching attacks out of it. It's necessary to cut these guys off anyhow. So I'm going to march into that mountain there. Should have to cross this state just to get to. Reinforcements are on the way, and more will be coming in November 21st. Yeah. You're not going to win here, Nazis. Generally, you have to outnumber a defender about 2 to 1. We're matched in numbers when you look at the width. And even with their support, they're going to lose. Counterattack, counterattack, counterattack. Oh, I already won that. It lasted very little time. And they dealt 411 casualties. It's this Wittenberg. Losing a lot to airplanes, unsurprisingly. Oh, fall back to the hills. They're better defensive terrain anyhow. As long as these divisions don't delete because they think they I don't know what these are assigned to, but not to the right place for sure. Should be able to hold it on. And I got a medal for Augsburg. They're all pretty much the same. There's no real difference. I'm going to have the 4th Infantry, because it's right next to the 3rd. Make it easier looking at numbers later. I think both 3rd and 4th need medals eventually. I'm pretty sure taking airfield gets you a little closer to medal, although it doesn't give you one. It's definitely noted in citations. These guys will swing south to Munich next. Enforce, because I expect they'll rush defenders here. That's where the factories are. built a bunch there, so I want those mill factories. The Nazis will sabotage them, so it'll take a little while to rebuild. Where did I lose another battle? That's Wittenberg, I know about that. This has been that one the whole time. How about this? Not sure why it visually shifted. Probably a division moved. Cool. These guys are a little more likely to suffer crits because they're less experienced. And as great as he is, I would like Kesselring in charge of this fight. What you can do, he outranks the other guy. Something like this. It's a critical place to hold. Oh, they won this fight and these guys are pulling back. As they want to. Now they're joining the fight. So it doesn't try and move these guys. These divisions aren't assigned to line, it might. I may have lost some areas outside cities, but I'm going to take a big city, so that's probably a net gain for me. Coburg push is a prelude to taking Nuremberg, but they're back. Von Beck is now assisting in the assault. These guys are fully planned to my attack here, just because that'll catch these divisions in 2 fights at once. Or at least buy a little time here. I'll do it now. It's more important that, see. Slower cuts their attack in half for both fights. Meaning that they can apply less force here, meaning this fight will last a little longer. No, they'll still win. I was correct, they did rush them into Munich. Didn't apply the multiple combat thing like it should have to my divisions, but oh well. We'll eventually need to pull some of these guys to Augsburg so that these divisions don't risk getting cut off while surrounding the enemy. Alright. This is going reasonably. I'm not going to say well, but it's not going poorly actually. divisions there. After I reinforce here, I'm going to have to reinforce there. Does it take him to march? 22 hours. Okay, still use some more organization. They want to keep expending their strength this way. Alright. I think I'm going to attack him in the rear. I don't want divisions here to fold. Lieb is not quite as skilled as Fitzalbon. I might even use him. Oh, because he's an infantry officer. This guy is too, though. I want to switch who's assigned to what. After this fight, we'll see. Promotions. I can give someone a promotion. I can also replace him. He's hardly the ideal defender. Here we go. Heinrich Gotterd. He'll help add more defense, more planning, one more logistics skill, max entrenchment, and I can use the fact he's an inflexible strategist to my advantage. Give him that next. And then maybe one of these. The guy you replaced, I think he's like this guy's uncle or something. Nepotism there, maybe. I don't know much about the historical characters. Maybe they were both very talented. You know, good upbringing or something. I'm not going to say good genes, because most talent is not really genetic, it's upbringing. Especially while playing against the Nazis, you can't give them any ground on that eugenics crap. I mean, it has a limited role in reality. I have a training in biology. I know this much, that nature versus nurture is not completely resolved, but most evidence indicates nurture is far more important than nature. Which is not to say they don't both act. People think it's one or the other. In biology, most things are shared, so it's like 70-30, you know, 30% nature, 70% nurture, something like that. Although twin studies have produced some weird results that suggest otherwise. There's been a lot of evidence of specific maternal behaviors. So I don't know, maybe twins were adopted by similar mothers, or similar parts of the country, or maybe they were brought up specific ways because they acted ways which have influenced the way their parents treated them. That's how nature nurture gets murky, because nature can condition nurture. How you behave affects how people treat you. This may seem like a bad idea, but pretty much all these divisions are already in the fight anyway, so the tax is being redistributed. The only one that wasn't is this. So they bring 40 extra combat attack to bear, I bring 53 extra. And I slow them down here, so it's actually a good idea, even though they will run out of work and have to just sit in Frankfurt. It's just a good place to sit and rework. They're not going to take that easily. Like this all. Soaring melodies. It's not as jarring as a lot of the Axis themes and stuff like "Bring forth the tanks." Too aggressive. Playing an aggressive game, I don't need extra aggression topped on that. Something soothing while I command the death of thousands in combat. No, don't march right back in. Absolutely do not. Got a better place for you. I do gain some organization while marching, as long as it's not strategic. Darn, they have lost a lot. Whatever. If they're not attacking here, I'll make this position a little stronger. That's all I can really do with them. It's a depleted division. Really? I've always suffered 5,000 men? To the 9? Thought my casualties were heavier than that. Trickling up more and more experience from the fighting, as well as training my own leaders. It's not a high price to pay as long as I can win the war. Nazis will be building factories by focus eventually. People think that you emerge weaker from civil wars, but not necessarily. If you're going to war much later, it gives you a chance to train your leaders. The equipment would have been obsolete anyways, most of it, and if you don't lose too many men, and you gain some extra build slots, it can definitely be worth it. Make you stronger than you would have been if you were at peace that whole time. It's because they all snowball, so they would have been attacking a weaker enemy that whole time. So you want to do conquer the world quickly, go fascist Germany, sure, but it's not what my goal was for this run. This is more similar to an allied run in terms of pacing. As far as that may be to believe. They keep attacking even though they're getting hit in the rear. And hard. These guys are in a mountain, so I'm less prone to attack them in the rear. Also, they fall back here, which is where I'm going to cut them off. These guys just fall into here. Munich is going well. I pulled a number of divisions to try and slow this down. I have to keep an eye on things down there. I could get cut off trying to cut off the enemy otherwise. Alright, well, things are definitely swinging in my favor here. Bit by bit. So, nice. I was waiting for this event to see if it would happen. Reports come in that a group of communist partisans have broken into and freed committed communists and former leader of the KPD, Ernst Stalin, from prison in Saxony. His rival, Walter Ulbricht, I think he has better leader traits if he becomes the leader, but has announced attacking the prison as anti-revolutionary act of terror. A statement likely stemming from his fear that the Wildlight Damen would be able to gain back leadership of the party, and he does. But he can be taken as a advisor, which now he gets communist support, taking political power gain. I'll be doing war economy first, of course. It might even allow if communist gets over 50%, maybe I can just switch faster that way. I don't know. They probably remove the referendum that he used to be able to give. I think this whole mission thing, it's based on getting communist support over a certain percent. Oh, more than 50. So Thalman still helps if you're trying to avoid a civil war or take the unstate decisions less to save political power. Even if you're still going to have a second civil war. Oh yeah, and I think I explained, but in case I didn't, I was almost certain that the Soviets, based on the factionalism and that max factories being at -10, I think that means they reversed the collectivization process. They got the kulaks on their side, but at least it's not, they're not acting as reactionaries, they're just different communist faction. And then they're doing this because I saw the communist uprising in Spain, which means they're probably very close to starting a civil war. You can see they are communists instead of anarchists. They have attack and defense against the Soviet Union. And they should be based on this trait, which means they could still turn on the Soviets even. Well, they would have to become a Soviet puppet for that to be. If they go this way, they'll take Soviet aid, but if they go this, which is probably what they're doing, they may start another civil war within the Civil War. I don't know if this is... The anarchists have already risen up, actually, that'll bypass, so they'll go this route. Collective recovery efforts, the People's Fleet, all that. And they'll actually faction with the Soviets, but not become a puppet, due to the right opposition. So, communism spreads. It's my interest for this playthrough, and I've been thinking about it. Probably the right opposition could win their civil war, probably be at peace with them and try and avoid war. But if Stalin stays in power, well, he's a bad guy. He may not be the super villain people have made him into, but he's a bad guy. And as a communist, if I can build a faction that can not have a extremely bloody war but take him down relatively quickly, I might. It's not necessarily worth the deaths of millions. the honest estimates is that he was responsible for maybe 1 million deaths. You know, the Eastern Front costs 6, 7, 8 million when you add up both sides. If I ever repeated that, communists fighting communists, it's not worth 8 million dying to get rid of a guy who, in his entire life, maybe caused 1 million deaths, 700,000 from the Great Purge, and there was some racism in the Holodomor, although it's been twisted into like this planned thing. But if you say that 1/10 of the deaths wouldn't have happened if he was in charge, and the whole thing wouldn't have happened without his forced collectivization, which was not intended to kill people off, but it had that effect of doing so. It was a badly planned, badly executed, overambitious policy that led to mass starvation. Yeah. 1 million deaths on his hands. You have to figure how many deaths are worth it to get rid of them. He dies eventually, after all. From old age or whatever, getting poisoned. And this alt history, he might die due to the Civil War in the Soviet Union, or an assassination. I was looking up a little, and the Bukharinists try to kill him. If they went over the NKVD, they have a higher chance, but they try to kill him, and if they fail, it starts a civil war. So it'll be up to RNG whether there's a civil war there or not. But I should know soon which it is. Okay, they're fully reorganized. Let's get them here. After which I can attack these guys who are attacking here. I'll fall back here and here. But I may be able to do another encircling the attackers thing from the rear if I'm lucky. Munich shouldn't be much longer. Another division deordered. In this fight I'm winning it, but I'm still taking heavy losses. So are they. Heavy losses on both sides. That was the division under Kesselring's command, though. Let's put this one under his command too. In fact, both of these, I want to automatically pull more divisions in here. Can be my guest. You know what? No, I need everyone stationary. Redo that. So don't move. I may eventually support a push this way. There we go. They fell in that attack. That would have been this. Figured they would. Did suffer losses, but probably reduced the rate of losses here. So maybe not with the air support. Give more time for those aerial attacks. That's why these numbers are never accurate, because it doesn't count for aircraft coming in and bombing them. We have 100 fighters defending their bombers. And they're bombers, not CAS. I think it's time to start switching them tomorrow, November 20th. I'll give it another day. The 21st is see how the extra divisions help. I'm gonna switch them into the normal, more up-to-date fighter soon, and then once they've got their swapped into the newer aircraft, then they'll start contesting the skies. They're trained, and they have enough experience to not drop back down to green as they suffer losses, so that'll have to do. It's better than the Nazi aircraft, which are all green, I assume, because they didn't have any trained pilots to defect to them. And they should have both numbers and training on their side, and I'll be fighting over my home territory. Territory I control, so there's no way I don't get the advantage there. Why do I have a... Oh. Didn't assign one to that. Very well. Our supply is so bad here. Yeah, should do that so they don't try and go right back into a fight. They need to reorganize. And if they lose here, then they'll be entrenched. I really don't want to lose that hill. I'm starting to think the Battle of Munich might not be won. They're actually taking heavy losses from any aircraft, I suspect. Not yet, but they will. I gotta get an air support. Alright. The reason I wait till the 21st specifically is because they gain the XP when the day ticks over, I believe, unless they change that. This should allow them to reinforce with these, modern fighters. There aren't enough to completely fill it out, but why were they so low when they're... Oh, because it just... It's in a work cast, but anyway, so mixing what modern fighters I have. I don't have any more in production, sadly. That's why I need the training partly. Once I capture if I can capture the factories in Munich, I'll be able to restart aircraft production, so that's important. As well as expand my truck manufacturing. Still have some trucks for sale because I need money too. Can't abandon my industrial snowball entirely. I gotta get those forts done and then start in civ factories again. So I don't forget. That'll eventually get built. The Mossland here. And more civ. But yeah, I need to capture some of the Nazi factories and get the industrial advantage more. I do have some, but it's not a big enough advantage, and they haven't called the Estonians in yet, which they will. They don't get well, they can't get volunteers, but if they don't get a lease from them, I could. I don't think they have. They pull the divisions here, maybe. I should just attack and expect this. I saw a division. They probably pulled them back to Allenstein proper. It's very cold here, which means they will suffer some attrition if they march in. But I think there's factories here. I think I'll tentatively march a division here so I can get visible in Allenstein. I suspect they got something here. And that'll mean if I defend it's in a forest rather than open terrain. Alright. I need to see where they are. So here too. Cool. Come back to that later. Completely forgot about Eastern Prussia. I said I have trouble multitasking with my long COVID and remembering multiple things at once. The alertness you see here is due to tons of caffeine. I've got 2 espressos and a tea here. It's a bad disease and there's not enough money being put into research for a cure, but what can you do? Biological research has always been underfunded in this country. I think these guys should reinforce the fight, hopefully before it's lost. Maybe not, we'll see. Attacking to hills, not great. Defending hills, great. Can't lose that hill. Can't lose these forests, however, they're a little easier to defend. So this is supply houses. Well, the infrastructure is good enough, they probably would be supplied either way. Oh yeah, can I pre-deploy divisions in Stuttgart? That's the place to do it. Yes, I can. 4 divisions, that'll probably be enough for... Be under his command because they'll be marching to forests. They need to organize before they march in. Where else am I losing? Here. East of Hanover, with all the divisions I've got. Okay. 3 divisions there. Also under his command. In fact, it might take all 4 to reverse this. No reason to be stingy. And 1 more division, I'll start getting skilled staff for XP. I don't know how I feel about that because it can credit other traits. Like him to get Trickster and Hellfighter before he gets that, for instance. Anyways. These guys should have been at 20. I should have queued them up on day 1. I thought, oh, I'll sell the equipment. No, I need them. I need them and their guns in the fight. The organization the men provided and the guns. To shoot and deorganize the enemy. Okay, that fight's over, so they'll get back and continue to organize as they march. When this is done, they'll be able to all dig in a little better too. I'm doing it for the XP more. The doctrines. How are my fighters coming along? Oh, this one's actually majority modern aircraft now. And it went back to green because I was hoping to replace them in here, but instead just expand this wing. Of course, should have anticipated that. The nice part is the penalties are actually scaled to how far they are below, so I don't have to keep training much more. I know I could pull them in now if I wanted, but what's the weather like? Nice and clear. And that's brutal losses. Alright, let's get them to this airbase that's centrally located. I think I put them where I did because of local supply. Wasn't sure if I could push it all the way back to this force in Baden, but it's not looking like it. Got the reinforcements in Stuttgart now. First and 5th Infantry are going to... What? Isn't this... Oh, it doesn't border. Well, I guess they're going to start moving there. Might get pushed back to this force in Baden. It's not all terrible because the railroad could get damaged. That means they'll start using Baden, so it'll supply a little. Aircraft don't use all of it. In fact, they don't use that much at all. The reason I like local supplies, I want as few trains on the rails as possible because they will start trying to make logistics strikes eventually. At least they did in previous versions of the game in the German Civil War, and they've only gotten smarter, so anticipating those. Probably just don't have enough casts for it right now. They're correctly looking at their cast numbers and saying it's not worth it yet. But they're probably building more, so. Sometimes it's better to give up ground than get the enemy in a counterattack. Stretch their lines thinner. Ooh, well, they've pulled in men here in this battle still. I'm not... Well, the defenders are deorganized mostly. They might just win this battle. Nothing else. This guy is gaining experience in urban warfare. A lot, actually. He's going to become an infantry leader quickly. He wouldn't gain urban warfare experience nearly as fast, even though he's a little less skilled. He'll be an urban warfare specialist, probably. I use defend key cities or attack them. Well, the temperature is dropping. That's going to make offensives harder. That probably works in my advantage. Because that hurts attack and breakthrough. And they suffer attrition when they attack. Alright. It's past time that these guys get reinforcements. Actually, they should go there. It's not under attack, and I don't want there to be a gap that's too enticing. Hopefully they'll replace their losses by the time they get there. Or by the time the enemy decides to try and attack there. These darn Mifo bells. But if I cancel them, where is that purchasing contract with Italy? This I won't have enough factories for because the consumer goods fraction will go up. But not immediately. First I get the payments, which actually is less than what I'm already paying. But then after 120 days, 120, that might be after the contract's done. But I wanted to get war economy before I canceled them. I think what I need to do is take advantage of the not running a focus thing for a little bit to get enough political power to get more economy and then immediately cancel the MIF bills before they increase in cost again. Because the way is the political power costs you what pay when you cancel them now, but it goes up each time you renew them. Alright, and they push me back here. But now Stuttgart is a defensive line. Yeah, these guys didn't reinforce into the fight on time. Or actually, since I'm likely to counterattack, and I was just talking about urban warfare specialist. These guys are going to make a counterattack. Not because when they move into state, I want to still keep planning. They're busy trying to reinforce the battle, which means they're not reorganizing. Which means the men of Stuttgart should be able to take them down. They've been sitting still, gaining organization, and we're already at 35. These are proper divisions. They have support artillery and engineers. They're not like the Landstrom, who are horrendously under-equipped. Yeah, this progress is actually going down, which means they're definitely not going to win. It's not even a question. They need to cancel attack because they need to focus on defense. These guys are gonna switch to his command because he's a little more skilled. They're not attacking a city. The plan is if I'm gonna attack Regensburg, but not really. It's just an area I know it won't take, so I'll keep the planning up. Well, I mean, if they leave themselves vulnerable, I might attack, because they're probably outnumbered 3-1 in that attack, but as I thought, the divisions that were defending here just went attacked. But now I'm not suffering the terrain penalties of attacking to a city. Oops. Well, whatever. These guys also need to focus on defending. This is a force, but he's not going to become a ranger. Under his command. Not really care that much. Not gonna be using automation. Kind of micro in such a small war with so few divisions in combat. This isn't like the Eastern Front or something. Or I should micro anyways. It's better almost everything where his men. Oh yeah, Stuttgart, urban warfare. Urban assault. Urban warfare. I'm gonna actually switch him to this guy because he's defending a city now, not attacking one. This is just gonna become infantry assault. Because if I get some tanks later in the fight, they're going to be under a different guy who's an armor general, not infantry leader. Alright, well they got owned there as I expected. Reinforcements on the way there. I may soon be able to launch an assault. I'll even use the Landstrom, I guess. So directly benefit the other fronts by getting him up to infantry leader quicker. Yeah, let's see if I can push him out of Lubeck. Oh, why is it rigid? Everyone should be rigid. I do not want anyone on. I hate when they decide to move around and lose entrenchment and the opportunity to gain planning bonuses just because an organization, just from marching, they gain it more slowly. Their cap becomes lower, so they can even lose it. Just because the AI decided it knows better than me where to put the divisions. Alright. This is obscuring too much. There we go. Not gonna attack Munich. These guys are probably both gonna get pushed back to Augsburg, which I need to put a division in so they don't think I'm marching in here. Well. So much for attacking. If you want to attack me, under his command. Keep planning, but none of them have any planning bonuses to speak of. How's that aircraft training coming? I need control of the skies. They've reached trained. It's time to contest the skies. Nope, wrong. No, you keep training. Huh. Shoot down the fighters first and the bombers would be easier, but near Spur they still attack bombers. They just will engage fighters when they don't see them, too. Gotta control the skies, or at least by downing more fighters, make it so that they don't massacre my fighters later. After all, I don't have any new ones in training yet. I mean, new ones in production yet. Alright. Well, this is reached about a good time probably to save and to cut this video, take a break and come back in a bit because we're at an hour and 37 minutes and that is a real long video to watch. So I hope you enjoyed. This is Northstar signing off for the moment. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I wish you all the best, viewers, if there are any of you. Goodbye.